On tonight's episode of Mr. Norris's In Case You Missed It, we look at the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. More specifically, we're going to look at numbers 6 through 10. Hey, hi, hello, and what is up, everybody? It's your host, Mr. Norris, the history teacher with the good hair. And first things first, check out the new digs. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! My new office, everybody. If I keep doing that, I'm going to puke. This is my new office here. Got my degrees hung up and everything. Very proud of it. This is where I'll be making my videos going forward, hopefully. My wife was like, you just want your own office so you can go somewhere and do your fantasy football lineups. And I was like, yeah, and I'll do it in peace and quiet. She's not even here. I'm just yelling to myself. And my dog's terrified that I'm screaming. So I apologize for that. But welcome, everybody. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Bill of Rights. More specifically, amendments numbers 6 through 10. I have a previous video on amendments numbers 1 through 5. You can check that out. This is going to be 6 through 10. Okay, let's start with the 6th Amendment. These are your rights during a trial. And basically, under our form of government, you are guaranteed certain rights as an accused person at your trial. Number 1, you have the right to a speedy and public trial, meaning that it needs to be heard in a public court of law. And we'll get into more of that in just a second here. And it needs to be done in a speedy fashion or as quick as possible. The police can't just arrest you and accuse you of a crime and then hold you in jail if you're not able to pay bail, which we'll also get to in a few minutes. They can't just hold you for an extended period of time. This trial needs to be done in a timely fashion, as timely as possible. You are also guaranteed an impartial jury of your peers, meaning that you have a jury of people who have no prior feelings against you. They don't know anything about you. They aren't biased in any ways. So meaning like if you had a jury of like all of your ex-girlfriends, that would not be good because they know you and they, probably dislike you if they're your exes. Let's just put it that way. Thank you. Next. You need to be made aware of your charges, right? You can't just be put on trial and not even know what the state or what the prosecution is trying to lay upon you. You need to know about that. And last but not least, you have a right to a lawyer. And in our form of government and in our country, if you can't afford a lawyer, the court then needs to provide one for you. That doesn't mean that this is going to be a good lawyer. It'll just be some kind of lawyer. Best case scenario, hopefully you got some kind of My Cousin Vinny situation going on that can help you during your trial. When they come in and he's going to defend 2 youths. What was that? Yeah, I'm here to defend 2 youths. Kids don't get that one. They don't get that one. The parents will get that. Parents, that one's for you. My Cousin Vinny, great movie. Check it out. But that's the 6th Amendment, your rights during a trial. What is the 7th Amendment? Very similar. Also your rights during a trial, but the 6th Amendment are your rights during a criminal trial when you are arrested and there are charges brought against you. The 7th Amendment is your rights during a civil trial. And basically that's, kids, have you ever seen Judge Judy? Okay, those are civil trials. By the way, love Judge Judy. She is the OG savage. I can't be like Judge Judy. I do kind of envy her because she's just like no nonsense. I'm more just like, it's okay. And, Judge Judy's like screaming at people and very entertaining TV. Those are civil cases. That's basically when, 2 people or one person is trying to say that there's been some kind of wrongdoing brought against them by somebody else on their property or something. Usually it has to do over money. Somebody owes money to somebody else. That's a civil case. Now, the 7th Amendment says that you are entitled to a civil case with a jury in any case that is over $20, which when the Bill of Rights was created in 1788, 1789, that was a lot of money. It's not anymore. So usually in civil cases, it's got to be for something a lot more than $20. But back then at the time, that's what it was. And that's actually still how it's written in our Constitution. Just basically says that if you want to bring your case to court against somebody where damages are over $20, you're entitled to a jury. Okay. What is the 8th Amendment? The 8th Amendment is the amendment that protects you from cruel and unusual punishment. Basically, if you are convicted of a crime, and these are your rights after you're convicted, the punishment has to fit the crime. And like I said, it can't be cruel and unusual punishment. So if you are arrested for stealing a pack of bubble gum and you are found guilty, your punishment can't be, all right, we're going to hang you by your thumbs for 10 hours. or we're going to have a mule kick you, right? That doesn't really fit the crime of stealing, a little stick of bubble gum. The judge can't also say, okay, you're going to serve 50 years in prison. Again, the crime doesn't fit, or excuse me, the punishment doesn't fit the crime, okay? And like I said before as well, the kicking by the mule and the hanging by your thumbs, that would be deemed cruel and unusual. So the Eighth Amendment protects you from that. It also protects you from excessive bail. Basically, when you're arrested by the police, while you're awaiting your trial, you have an opportunity to pay what's a fee called bail. And that means you can basically get out of prison and help create your case while you await your trial. If you can't pay that bail, you have to stay in jail until your trial. So the Eighth Amendment also protects you against excessive bail. That same scenario, if I steal a pack of bubble gum, my bail can't be set at $1 million, because that doesn't make any sense. If I commit a really serious, heinous crime, then maybe my bail is a really high number because the judge might be worried that I might try to flee the country or leave the state or something like that. So yeah, the bail also has to fit the crime. Now, amendments number 9 and 10 are a little bit complicated, but basically they just say that whatever rights that are not given directly to you in 1 through 8, 9 says any rights that aren't mentioned doesn't mean that they don't still exist. You have them. The people retain those rights. Like the Constitution doesn't say you have the right to eat McDonald's every day, but you still do. You have the right to have purple hair, but you still can. You have the right to pour milk inside of your bowl first and then cereal. You can do that even though the Constitution doesn't say that. I wouldn't personally do that because that's a psychopath move and it probably means you're a terrible person. But you can still do it even though the Constitution, the Bill of Rights doesn't say that, right? The Ninth Amendment basically says that you have other rights that aren't listed. They're not just limited to Amendment number 1 through Amendment number 8. The 10th Amendment basically says that there are rights that are also retained by the states. States have their own rights too, and they can come up with their own things, such as length of school year, speed limits in states, how they're going to set up their election process, if they want to set up their own laws, if they want to collect or figure out a way to collect their own taxes. There are also rights retained by the state. All right, so there you have it. Really excited about this new setup in here. I can tell you guys all are too. Probably not. Those are the amendments 6 through 10 of our Bill of Rights. Like I said, check out my prior video to see 1 through 5 and then connect it with your 6 through 10. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would be just fine. Remember that history is life. And in the words of George Washington, the surest basis for public happiness is knowledge. So go out there and get some. Have a good night, everybody.